So, you've taken a career break, and now you're thinking about jumping back in, especially after 40. I get it. It can feel like you're standing at the bottom of a massive mountain, looking up, with absolutely no map. Well, let's dive in. Today, we're not just going to talk about that mountain. We are going to draw the map that gets you right to the top.
First things first, I want you to really hear this. You are so far from being alone on this journey. Nearly 70% of women take a significant career break at some point. For family, for caregiving, for health, it's a completely normal part of a career path.
And here is the most important thing to remember before we even take our first step. That mountain, it isn't nearly as steep as it looks from the bottom. All that life experience you gained, managing crises, juggling schedules, handling budgets, those aren't gaps on your resume. They are high-level executive skills, just in disguise.
Okay, so you might be wondering, if my experience is so valuable, why does this feel so incredibly hard? Well, it's because you're up against a few very specific challenges that, frankly, most of the typical career advice just gets completely wrong. I like to call it the triple challenge. First, there's the confidence gap. You know that little voice in your head telling you you're behind? Yeah, it tends to get a lot louder after a break. Then there's the skills perception gap. This is when employers look at your resume and just assume your skills are expired. And third, the positioning gap. This one is huge. It's that awkward, unexplained blank space on your resume or the apologetic way you talk about it that just kills your authority before you even get in the door. And this is exactly why so much of the advice you hear just totally backfires. People say, oh, just hide the gap. But the automated screening systems, the ATS, they're programmed to flag that stuff immediately. They say, use a functional resume. Turns out, that's the format with the worst compatibility with that exact same software. The old tricks just don't work anymore. We've been handed a broken map.
So it's pretty clear we need a whole new strategy. And it all starts by reframing your career break, not as a problem, but as a period of unique, powerful development. And to do that, we're going to use something I call the bridge method.
This framework isn't just an acronym, it's your new power story, all wrapped up in about 30 seconds. B is for a brief, professional explanation of your break. R is for the relevant activities you were doing. I is for the valuable insights you gained. D is for demonstrating how you continue to learn. G is for your current goals and your enthusiasm. And E is for the expected contributions you are ready to make. See? This isn't about making excuses for the past, it's about confidently stating your value for the future.
Now listen to how this all comes together. Just feel the power in this statement. I took intentional time to manage complex care coordination. During that period, I developed exceptional project management skills. I also completed my PMP certification. I'm excited to bring these enhanced leadership and problem-solving skills to a senior role. Do you hear that? It completely changes the story from I wasn't working to I was developing critical skills in a challenging new environment.
All right, next up, we have to proactively demolish that skills perception gap. The biggest fear employers have is that your tech skills are rusty, so we're not going to let them wonder. We're going to show them.
And this 30, 60, 90-day plan makes it feel totally achievable. For the first 30 days, you just focus on the foundation. Spruce up your LinkedIn, take an online course, get really comfortable with modern tools like Slack and Teams. The next 30 days are all about application. Find a volunteer project, get a certification, and in the last 30 days, you integrate everything. Apply those shiny new skills to a real project, update your resume with that fresh experience, and then you start your search.
And here's the absolute key for your resume. Don't just list a skill like project management. No. Instead, you're going to write something like completed Google Project Management Certificate and applied the framework to coordinate a $100,000 nonprofit fundraising event. One just says you know something, the other proves you've recently and successfully applied it. It's a total game changer.
Okay, your story is reframed, your skills are sharpened. Now it's time to find the right audience. A strategic job search isn't about spraying your resume everywhere. It's about targeting the employers who are going to see your experience as the major asset that it is.
So focus your energy right here. First, search for companies that have returnships or formal return-to-work programs. They are literally looking for you. Second, target companies that are known for inclusive hiring and have diverse leadership. They're way more likely to appreciate your unique journey. And third, really consider contract or part-time roles. They can be fantastic bridge positions to get back in the game and prove what you can do.
And now, the interview. You know this question is coming. It's that moment where they point to your resume and ask you to explain that space between the lines.
But you're not even going to flinch. Why? Because you've already prepared for it.
You just deliver that concise, confident, forward-looking bridge statement we just built. And then you immediately pivot the conversation away from your past and onto their future and all the value you're going to bring to them. Okay, this is the tricky one, isn't it? It feels like a loaded question about your commitment, and it's usually based on some really outdated ideas. But don't get defensive. Get strategic. The goal here is just calm, confident reassurance. You simply state that the circumstances that led to your break have changed. Your life is stable, and you are now fully focused on and committed to building the next long-term chapter of your career. It's all about your present stability and your future ambition.
And finally, the question that hits that skills perception gap right on the nose. They just want to know if you can hit the ground running with today's tools and workflows.
And your answer comes straight from your 30, 60, 90-day plan. You don't just say, yep, they are. You prove it. You say that's something I've been really proactive about. I recently completed my PMP certification, and I led a volunteer project where I use Slack and Asana daily to coordinate the team. Concrete, specific, recent evidence. Boom.
Okay, we have climbed the mountain, we've seen the path, we've navigated the tricky spots. Now, let's pull it all together into a clear, actionable plan that you can start on today.
Here it is. Just 5 steps. Number 1, rebuild that confidence. Write down every single achievement you can think of, big or small. 2, modernize your skills using that 30, 60, 90-day plan. 3, position your resume professionally. No apologies, no weird gaps. 4, reactivate your network. And 5, start planning your first 90 days on the job now so you can make an immediate impact.
And for step 3, positioning that resume, getting it past those automated screening systems is absolutely crucial. If you're struggling to find the right words, there are even specialized AI tools out there, like Pass the Scan, that can analyze how your resume is framing your career break and make sure it's seen as a strength by both the software and the human on the other side. So let's end with this. Your career break was not a pause button. It was a training ground. It didn't make you weaker. It forged you into a leader with a kind of resilience and perspective that you just can't learn in a classroom. The only real question left is, are you ready to lead?